Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the lack of content. It's been a crazy few months. Manchester City not playing, World Cup on, busy as it is, Christmas time coming and that. It's been tough, you know what I mean? I've not done that much content. I did a little bit on Manchester City's official channel. The journey continues. Pep Guardiola signing a new contract. Was a little bit surprised. I got the call in the morning. Would have liked to come down to the training ground and do the show. Went down. Dave Mooney, a steam company, was there, and we did a little 1 hour show talking about how we felt about Pep signing the deal. Really enjoyed it. A little bit out of my comfort zone with it being in a studio and Manchester City and all that, but we winged it and it came across well and he enjoyed it. Got a lot of positive comments off the City fans in the chat saying good to see Big Steve on the official channel, and that really meant a lot to me that I was getting the support of you guys. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and I think that's where I'm going to start. A few weeks now, Pep Guardiola signs his new contract. It'd been up in the air for a while. There was a few tabloids saying that maybe he needed a break. Maybe this would be his last year. City fans were starting to get a bit twitchy about it. Every time I seen a few of the lads at the games, they're saying, "Do you know anything, Steve?" I didn't know anything. Rumour mill starts to go then. Somebody called me up and said, "Oh, apparently Pep's leaving at the end of the season. I've heard this rumour and this, that." And you know how it goes. Anyway, no one was more happy than me when that yellow ticker on Sky Sports News was flashing across saying Pep had extended. I think with the signing of Haaland this season as well, and the players he's let go, Raheem, Jesus, Zinchenko, Alvarez coming in, I think it's a little bit of a transitional period for us. So to get Pep signing on the dotted line, for me, shows intent from the club that he's staying. He's got unfinished business. He's just signed Haaland. Haaland's hit the ground running. Alvarez, he's having a great World Cup at the minute. He's contributing to that Argentina team well. There's a good feeling about the club. I think this season up to now, we're 14 games in, 13 games in. We're second. We're 5 behind. We went to the World Cup on the back of a loss to Brentford. That was just terrible. Haaland's hit the ground running, smashing it. But I think every Manchester City fan will tell you we're not 100% yet. We're not ticking. We're not purring, shall we say. The Manchester City machine tends to get purring after Christmas, ticking along nice, picking up results, grinding them out. I don't think we've played the best this season up to now. There's some games where we've demolished teams. There's some games where we should have won and we've dropped points. And there's games like Brentford where we deserve to lose. So I think we've got a big couple of months coming up now. January, end of December, January. Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, Leeds. They're all tough games, and I think we need to hit the ground running. We can't afford any of these players coming back from the World Cup not 100%. We can't have anyone switched off. We haven't got any easy games. I thought the run into the World Cup was a good run in. I thought we could have got all the points on the board, gone to the World Cup, 2 points off Arsenal, maybe top of the league, happy days. But we're not. We're 5 behind. We know in the Premier League that's not a lot, especially for Manchester City. We just got to make sure we're all on the same page. Get back from the World Cup, and we got Liverpool Carabao Cup. First, we got Girona in a friendly. I'll speak of that later on. But yeah, we got Liverpool coming up in the Carabao. There was talk of the team being patched up, but a lot of the big guns went out early rounds of the World Cup. So I think we're going to have a decent side for that. So yeah, for me, Pep Guardiola signing the contract was brilliant. All the Blues were buzzing. Lots of messages about it. Everyone excited. What Pep Guardiola's done for this club is unbelievable. The greatest manager we've ever had. We've had the moments, the Pep moments we can count, where he's overfought it, like they like to say. But it is what it is. Look, I think we'd be in a lot worse a place without him. I think trying to get someone to come in and play that style, it's not going to be easy. So we can put it to the back of our minds for a couple of years. Pep's had a bit of a rest during the World Cup. I think he'll come back refreshed. Big Erling's been on the beach in Marbella. I think he's been to Milan to see his agent. He's had a rest. He's been out in Abu Dhabi this week. Reports coming back that he's looking sharp. So, yeah, it could be scary for the Premier League if Erling Haaland's had a rest and he hits the ground running. So I'm looking forward to see that. A couple of young kids out there in the training camp, Carlos Borges and that Rico Lewis, Cole Palmer, could get some minutes coming up. So we're looking all right, Blues. We're looking all right. You know what I mean? We've got some big games, but we're looking all right. Which brings me on to the World Cup. I'm going to talk about it. England, first game, Iran. We put 6 past them. We're thinking happy days. Then against USA, we go back to the old England. Bit negative. Everyone getting on Gareth's back. We beat Wales, then on to Senegal, and we've been knocked out by France. I mean, for me, I think Gareth's took us as far as he can take us. I don't buy into this, we got to a semi-final and we got to a final. Yeah, we did do, but we didn't win anything. So it doesn't matter if you get to the final every year. If you win now, you win now. You're still the same as the person next to you who didn't win now. Is it progression? Yeah, it's progression, but I think he's got a great squad of players. I do think that this squad has got a good nucleus of players, but we need an elite manager to manage them. This team will only take you so far into the depths of a competition, and then the manager has got to step up and earn his crust for me. I think in the earlier rounds, Jude Bellingham and that against Wales, they dictated the pace. Phil Foden and that started to tick, and I think Gareth usually would have been a lot more negative, but because the young boys were playing out the skin, he let it roll. That's fine, let it roll, and it did a good job. Against France, we were the better side. But the changes, they just killed us in it. Raheem Sterling coming on, Mason Mount coming on when you've got Grealish on the bench and you've got Rashford on the bench who's playing well. You just come away from these tournaments like always questioning the manager's decisions, which you shouldn't be doing. If you get beat off a better side, you come away from the tournament and you think, you know what, we give it our all. And I think England did give it their all, to be fair. But did we get beat off a better side in France? No. Giroud up front. The midfield, Rabiot, Tchouaméni, Hernandez, Upamecano. Is that a world-class France team? Not for me. Have we been beat off better French team? Oh, yeah. This is one of the worst French team about. I speak to the French lads, Parisian Londoner. They wasn't a great French side, but they got the job done. Obviously, Harry Kane missed a penalty. I don't mind a penalty. It's 50-50. Get it on target. The goalkeeper saves it. No problem with that at all. He saved it. Fair play. But I've never seen Harry Kane hit a penalty like that over the bar like that. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. I've seen his penalties saved and missed, but never over the bar. But, it is what it is. So then, football was coming home. Southgate, you're the one. You still turn me on. All that bollocks was getting sang. And you're just walking out of there Saturday night again. England's let you down. But it's been a good World Cup. A lot of the City boys have had some moments in there. I've seen Nathan Ake playing well. Bernardo played well for Portugal. Ruben Diaz was getting a lot of minutes. Cancelo got dropped. Cancelo, for me, this season has not been 100%. He's made some daft mistakes, stupid mistakes. Maybe this dropping from Portugal, maybe that's a kick up the arse for him. I think he's one that needs to come back and look at himself in the mirror. There's been some mistakes this season from Cancelo, stupid ones, which he needs to cut out of his game. Nathan Ake is doing well for Holland. Alvarez is still in the competition with Argentina, he's chipping in with the odd goal. Akanji scored a goal, whatever, for Switzerland. So Ilkay and that for Germany didn't quite do it. But we've got a lot of our boys back. I think they're on about giving him a week off, but to be fair, Ederson, does he need a week off? Didn't play any games, really. I think he played one for Brazil. But does Ederson need a week off? Not for me. I'd be wanting to get back to City and get the title one. Calvin Phillips, does he need a week off? Not for me. Come back from injury. You want games. You know what I mean? Come back and play the games. So it'd be interesting to see how many of the players actually take the week off. Kevin De Bruyne getting slated, and I mean slated in the press. You can't do it on the big stage. Listen, any man with a football brain or woman with a football brain knows that that Belgian team, is a mess. And it's all about the harmony of it. De Bruyne don't speak to Courtois. Lukaku don't speak to him. He don't speak to him. They've got, they're a bit like England. They've got a poor manager, Martinez, managing elite players. He can't do it. They're not listening to him. Who's listening to Martinez? Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku. They're not going to listen to him. It's not no harmony in the Belgian camp. Belgium would be better off scraping the decks, getting rid of all the older players, putting a young generation of Belgian teams in there and saying, look, it's going to take 5 or 6 years, but we're going to get there in the end. He got slated though, Kevin. Some absolute nonsense coming out online. He's a system player. A system player. What are you talking about? Stop talking nonsense with this modern crap, yeah? I watch Kevin De Bruyne, like the City fans do, week in, week out. Drag Man City to wins, mad passes that you'll never see, assists, goals, everything. Premier League, back-to-back champion. Don't be talking to us about he's a system player because he didn't turn up for Belgium. The whole team didn't turn up for Belgium. The whole team didn't turn up for Belgium, not just Kevin De Bruyne, yeah? Messi in the last World Cups and stuff. Has he turned up? No. Is he a system player? No. Well, there you go. So people are talking shit again. But Kevin De Bruyne, come back to Man City where you loved. Get this team ticking again. Let's get this title won. 3 in a row. Let's get this title won. And forget Belgium and all that nonsense. Forget it. This World Cup's been a weird one. It's come at the wrong time of year. We all don't know what to do with ourselves. We used to be getting into a Christmas like blockbuster fixtures now, thick and fast, home and away, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, all that stuff. But it just feels a little bit weird. It just feels a bit disjointed, a bit like pre-season again, you know what I mean? But, it's a bit of a crazy one. But anyway, England's out. Looking at who's left in the tournament, I don't care who wins it. Part of me wants Morocco to win it because, they're an African nation. No African nation's ever got this far. The fans are proper getting behind them and that. They're not the greatest team in the world, but they work hard. Reminds me a bit when Greece won the Euros. Everyone was looking at it thinking, Greece, nah, they ain't going to win it. They ain't going to win it. But they did. And Morocco could do the same. I don't think Argentina are great. I'll be honest. I don't think they are. So, yeah, why not? Why not Morocco? Don't think France are the best. Croatia, people saying they're too old, rolling back the years. They're getting the job done. They could sneak in and win it. They could. But anyway, that's the World Cup over with. Qatar, it was a good tournament. Don't get me wrong. It was decent. There was a lot of underdog stories and a lot of upsets, which is always good. I think the Qatar, the place, has held a great tournament. There's been no trouble. Been a few political statements here and there and a bit of people running on the pitch and all that crap. But as far as all the stadium falling apart and all this, they try to damage Qatar's reputation. But as far as a football tournament can go, I think it's been one of the best. So hats off to Qatar. But I can't lie, I'm glad it's getting over and I'm glad Man City's back. Which brings me on to Manchester City. This weekend, we got a friendly at the Academy Stadium against Girona. Obviously part of the Manchester City football group. Makes sense with the Liverpool game coming up on the 22nd, I think, to get people some minutes. I've got a few tickets for the game, so I'm going to go down there. So if there's any City fans going on Saturday, I'll be there. I don't know where I'm sitting because it's the Academy Stadium, so that's a bit mad. But I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm looking forward to seeing Big Earl. Missed him. The Nordic Meat Shield, the Haaland, all that nonsense. We need to get that back. So yeah, I've missed it. I've missed Man City, man. Part of your life, innit? You know what I mean? It's good to get back on these streams and get talking to Blues. I don't know what kind of team he's going to play. I'd like to see Carlos Borges play. He's been doing really well with the EDS. I think with the squad depleted, it'd be good to see him in action. Haaland obviously rested. We don't want nothing daft. Get some minutes under his belt. But I'd play him in the Carabao Cup as well against Liverpool. We need him. And other than that, there's not a lot to say. We're back to square one. We just got to make sure we start the Premier League well. We can't afford a slow start. I think there's going to be some clubs that struggle getting back to it. Arsenal have got the momentum. They've had a massive blow with Jesus being injured, massive for them. They're looking at Eddie Nketiah to lead the line. I do think that Arsenal dip into the transfer market. I think they know that they've got a chance of winning the league, the top of the league, 5 points. I don't even want to say the top of the league at Christmas because we know that's bollocks because it finished early, So, but the top of the league, they've had a good start. People said they couldn't go 12, 13 games winning. They have. So they've got a chance. So if they can add the right players, they can kick it on. City, transfer dealings. Do we need anyone? We need something, I think, because I don't think we're 100% ticking as we should be. Do I think Pep's going to go in and buy anyone? No, unless something ridiculous comes up. We've been linked this morning to quite a few players. Obviously, Jude Bellingham's one. Jude Bellingham, the World Cup he's had, his value can only have increased. I think Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Real Madrid, everyone's going to be in for him. That is a position we need to strengthen. I think Ilkay, maybe his last season for us. Bernardo, whether he starts to say he wants to leave again, we don't know. Obviously, he looks happy in himself. We think he's bought a house now. But Jude Bellingham would be great for us. We know we've got the money. We sold a lot of academy products in the summer. We've got the funds. If City can get that one over the line, it'd be amazing. Tixi and Ferran, if you watch him, go and get him. But other than that, January, I don't see much business. Just seeing that Kai came back off loan from, I think it's Paco Farense in Portugal, didn't hit the ground running over there. Don't think they overly rated him. But we just bought the Brazilian team by the City Group has bought a club in Brazil, and he's the first signing for them on loan for a year. Might do him well. He's a young kid, getting back out into Brazil, get his confidence back up, and we'll see what happens. There's always the danger in Brazilian footballers. You see them on YouTube, they look outstanding. They come over. A lot of them, struggle a little bit. But, he's a young kid. It might work out a great move for him and get him back into the City football group next season. Get him into France or Belgium, Lomo or Troyes, maybe Girona, and then filter him through to the City team. But we'll see. Liverpool game, Carabao Cup. Big game again. It's always a big game against Liverpool. We just never turn up against Liverpool. Anfield's the worst, but this one, we own one. Carabao Cup, it's there for the taking. If we can beat Liverpool, it's another big name knocked out. Just be interesting to see what team he plays. I'm a little bit more confident now in Ortega. I think Ortega, when he stepped up instead of Ederson, has been brilliant. I think Ederson has got a real fight on his hands this season. I think if Ortega gets a run, then Ederson might struggle because Ortega seems to be doing similar to what Ederson can do with the passing at the back. We don't look bad. When we dropped Ederson last year and we put Stefan in, we were miles off it. He was just a totally different goalkeeper, so it was never going to work. Ortega, yeah, I get it. We could see that. And yeah, we just got to hit the ground running. Leeds coming up, great away game, Leeds. Best away game last season for me was Leeds. Their fans was on it. We was on it non-stop. Absolute brilliant game. But yeah, I'm excited for it, Blues. I'm excited for it. Just want to get City back. Saturday, Girona. I know it's only a friendly, but we get to see the boys back. We're getting ready for that Liverpool Carabao game. Then Leeds. We've got United early January at the Swamp. Big news coming out of Man City this week. Stadium expansion. Usual shit on social media. Why are you expanding your stadium when you can't fill your seats and all that nonsense? Listen, doesn't matter. We're expanding the stadium, right, because of all the Norwegian Vikings that are following our man, yeah? United's been doing it for years at the Swamp. 25,000 Irish in the North Stand, yeah, who are still there because Roy Keane was there years ago. So we're doing the same now, right? So mind your own business. Stop being jealous. We're back-to-back champions. And if we want to fill the stadium with a load of day trippers who are going to spend a load of dough in the shop like you lot are, that's just what's going to happen. It's inevitable. But we're also building a hotel. we're also putting a roof over City Square. Now, that is a godsend, because that torrential rain in Manchester sometimes, City Square is just a washout. So if you can put a big roof over City Square, new store, hotel, we've got the concert venue going up, City Live, Co-op Live, whatever it's called. Fantastic. It's a monster of a stadium, and they seem to have built it rapid. It's looking good in Manchester for that, you know what I mean? So them rags that are giving everyone shit, talking about, you know, you can't fill your seats and all that. Listen, you can't fix your roof, yeah? Roy Keane's toenails are still floating about in a jacuzzi from the 90s. Ronaldo found Eric Jemba's underpants in his locker because no one had cleaned it for that long. So, you know, the truth hurts. But apparently they're getting took over by Apple, and apparently they're getting took over by Amazon. But it's all the nonsense. We'll see. But listen, on the blue side of Manchester, we're there or thereabouts in the league. Erling Haaland's fit and ready to go. Pep Guardiola's signed a new contract. We're building a hotel. We're increasing the capacity. Yeah. Our jacuzzi is a new jacuzzi. Our toaster is brand new. The players don't have to wait for toast like at the Swamp. And so it's looking good on the blue side of Manchester. I can't lie, we're looking good here. You know what I mean? People that are getting in the DMs of me saying, Steve, stop talking about Man United, because when we get took over, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Great. You get on with it, because, you know, you need to do that. But we're fine on the blue side of Manchester. We're absolutely fine. We're back-to-back champions. We've got gold badges on our sleeves. We've got Erling Braut Haaland, the Norwegian flop. You know, apparently the butcher was coming to take his legs off. The butcher got butchered. So if I was a Man United fan at the minute, I'd just keep it a little bit low in it. You know, have some shame. You know what I mean? Sort yourself out. You know, still using the same toaster Fergie won on fucking Bullseye years ago. You know what I mean? It's not good. But anyway, it's all banter, isn't it? It's all banter. But Manchester City are back. Big Steve's back. Do me a favour, Blues. Please like, subscribe, share my content. My YouTube algorithm's crazy. It's my own fault. I've not been on for a while. So I get pushed to the bottom. You know, there's these random City fans above me on the algorithm. It can't happen, man. I'm Big Steve. I'm bringing you the content here. Who else is talking about Roy Keane's toenail clippings? Yeah, me. That's it. So it is what it is. But listen, people, it's great to speak to everyone again. Thanks for tuning into my show. Manchester City are back. Girona at weekend. Get the boys ticking over. Get some energy in the tanks. And then we go Liverpool, Carabao, 22nd. Listen, respect to everybody. More content coming next week. Going to get a couple of shows in. We Are the South Stands with MCFC lads and DAPs. And we'll get this show ticking over. Just a quick mention as well. I was at the Blakely supporters branch last week, and we did a evening with Kevin Orlock and Andy Morrison, and they let me host it. I really enjoyed myself. I had a great laugh with Kevin Orlock. I ended up dropping him off at the hotel. We talked about some great stories. I've got an interview coming up soon with Andy Morrison. I've got an interview coming up soon with Julian Lescott, all on my channel. So stay tuned, stay locked in, and stay blue. Respect. See you soon. Up the Blues.